help him. Please help him. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're back with another reaction to The Witcher. We're now into episode 4, which is called Redanian Intelligence. So the last episode was kind of dealing a lot with Yennefer and where she's at right now. Specifically that she seems to be going through something with her magic. It appears her magic is gone, and after her little interaction with that weird witch goddess, it looks like it could potentially be something that maybe isn't truly that it's gone, or something that she's got to trade off with this witch to get back. But at the moment, Yennefer feels like she is indeed powerless, and she basically had to escape from the north and all of the people there because some of the mages, despite her heroic efforts at Sodon, are not feeling like she really is a hero. They're actually scared of how powerful she is. So she escaped at the last minute, also letting go of their one prisoner that they were able to keep alive after the effort. So she's definitely made herself an enemy somewhat of that council, as well as probably some of the northern kingdoms. But she, of course, has got to figure out her own way now because they really weren't there for her anyways. And outside of that, we saw that young Ciri is continuing her training. She's quite determined to get stronger. She's still not being completely honest with Geralt around all of the dreams and the premonitions she's having, but she did open up a little bit more and let him know that she is indeed having premonitions and that she does have some of the power that Geralt witnessed her mother have all those years ago. So things are slowly progressing along. I'm really liking the way that they're doing the storytelling right now. Like I said, particularly the Geralt and Ciri scenes, they're really hitting for me. So I'm very much looking forward to this episode, and I'm going to get into it. But just before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I really hope that you like it here. And if you do like it a lot, that you'll hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the algorithm, and that really helps me a lot, which I very much appreciate. And if you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back. And hopefully you'll think about hitting that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified when I do more reactions to this show, as well as other shows that are very similar in this same kind of vein. So hopefully you'll join. We'd love to have you. All right, that out of the way, let's get into episode 4 right about now.
The fear. The failure.
I mean, I'm not saying you should take it too easy on her, but do remember she breaks Geralt, and she can't heal as fast as you.
As long as you listen. Always listen.
To what? Your heart? Is Geralt wearing button-fly jeans, or am I just going crazy? Ooh, that would be a good habit. She should learn to climb trees. Nailed it.
I'm not going to hurt you.
What kind of demon is this?
You're a girl.
Oh. Why is she here? Oh, she did say she had a different path.
And a friend of girls. You must be quite charitable.
She said. I mean, you have no idea, Ciri, and you don't need to. Look at her face. What is this? What is happening here? Am I getting a new stepmom? Oh, she knows Yennefer's alive, though. We need her.
Haven't even had me fill a grog yet, and already the women are doubling.
You love it. You're just gonna have to start washing. I'm sorry.
I'll go and dress for dinner. I assume you'll all want to wash up as well?
Exactly. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. I can smell you from here. I'm about her.
Please, sir. I can't wait. Could I be escorted to an alley?
Can't wait, can it?
Thank you.
He's gonna tell him to go on himself.
Go on then. Relieve yourself.
I'll remember you. Bad things gonna happen to you. Do you feel like a man now? Your time will come. Bigotry is a horrible, disgusting disease that I wish could be completely eliminated from humanity.
It's funny how quickly people forget about you when you're no longer of use to them.
Bam!
It?
Bam! Yennefer is smarter than you. Never forget that. Oh, what kind of magical messenger service is this? This is original Twitter, y'all. This is original Twitter. Oh, God. Wow. Wow, that was fat. You better cover even more of your face, girl. How accurate is this drawing? Maybe y'all should pull your hoods down a bit more, please. Right? With your big shiny cloaks when everybody else is filthy and poor. Y'all need to hide now. I wonder if any of them can use animals to spy. That would be a really cool ability and very useful.
King Visimir, the northern kingdoms are united by a common enemy now, but it is a tenuous alliance.
We only want to serve Redania as best we can.
Redania, okay.
Good afternoon, Your Highness.
Wait, I'm sorry? There's a dead woman on the floor. Can we talk about this?
Drink it.
I don't want anything, thanks, except my life. And you take multiple sips the way I would have just...
Go to all the trouble of taking the continent's crown jewel, only to fill it with hungry mouths.
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm starving, Dijkstra. Get to the point.
He's the kind of monarch I would be.
Sintra could be ours.
If we're smart.
Why do I feel like this king is rather useless and that his advisors rule everything? He's like, I see you, bitch. I see you. Oh, he knows. Okay. Who's looking? Ooh, so much plotting.
Would you like me to show you around the keep?
I think she's been here before.
I know this place pretty well.
I was about to say. So does she knows that Yennefer's alive? I'm wondering if she's planning on telling. Like, when are we having that conversation?
Come.
Mm-hmm. Not so quick to say you're an elf now, are you, Yennefer?
No one's on our side, you trusting idiot. Shut up!
She doesn't understand him. Doesn't matter.
What is he saying?
Jesus.
If there's no room, we'll catch the next boat. I promise.
He's like, she's pretty. He's got a crush. Look at him. You're beautiful. I know. She know. Look at him. He's like, so, you single or, you know, you haven't found love in a hopeless place? I love that we're seeing this, though, because Yennefer does not have her magic right now, and she's going to have to learn to be a lot. The hell is that? Don't want to know. But yeah, she's going to have to learn to be a little bit more creative with her other gifts now.
Could a mage have made this?
Theoretically. But generating monsters has been outlawed for centuries.
Because that stops people.
If there is any sign of mutagenetic alchemy, if a mage has been involved, that component will glow.
Ah, it's an ancient subterfuge. Centrifuge.
I say their names at night when I lay down, so I don't forget. Atlankirk. Vaniel.
Stay.
Dagobah.
Stop.
That inf-
I know you feel it too. All of it.
The
Love,
way you're not saying it. 3 words.
fear, and regret.
3 words. Yennefer is alive. There, Geralt.
Stay with me tonight.
Tress.
Only stay. Let's not be alone.
Too soon.
I'm sorry.
He's a one-woman man now. I wonder if she's figured that out, though. Because I was wondering if she's purposefully withholding it. Because if she tells him the truth, there's no way. I mean, there already is no way, which I think should be her indicator. This man is down. Bad.
Who did this to you?
Who do you think? He's like, help me!
Ever since the elves took refuge in Zintria, the North have been claiming that we're all sleeper agents for Nilfgaard.
Sounds familiar.
These are the things you don't think about when you make these alliances, is how it affects everybody. Mind you, not all these elves wanted this alliance, so... He's talking about some beautiful woman with a great body.
I'll borrow your hope then.
Ah! No, not my brother, please! Don't do it! Help him! Please help him! This man is completely useless. Oh, you're gonna burn in hell. And she doesn't have her magic. No, please, I don't want him to die, please. That's what you get for giving up. I'm very attached to him already. He seemed very sweet. Oh. Looks like the two of you are even now. But now he knows the truth as well. Oh, I like the deaf guy.
You were incredible that day, Sword.
Thank
The
you.
fire.
I'm glad someone appreciates it. Creepy.
And I serve Amir because he served us first. Everyone answers to someone eventually.
This is true.
You ran!
Like a little bitch.
I took the only option I had. He would have done the same.
Nope, didn't. She literally wasn't leaving him. Do you know him? Or she's just happy to hear music. What for? Of course it's him. Of course it's my favorite part. Oh, she's so happy. Not so much because it's him, but because he knows Geralt. His hair looks terrible, though. We need to fix this.
Watch me burn.
Ooh, we got emotional. I felt that in my soul. Very well played, sir. Not a dry eye in the house. Probably a few other places that have a little moisture.
No one knows his proclivities. No one knows anything about him.
Who he is, where he is.
What he wants, and nothing he does makes any fucking sense.
Al's like, sure, bro.
It needs to be the right one.
Oh, you're looking for a spy.
You. Come with me.
No, not my Boo Bear. Oh, I was hoping he was still safe. But they did attack the forest last season.
Is that a flower in your hair, girl? Oh, she's not joking. You ever got my rucksack clean?
Yeah, like you ever wash.
I don't need to, Chloe.
Oh. She is a girl.
Well, it suited her, actually.
They're not used to being around girls, okay? In their formative years, they're around a bunch of dudes.
You dress her in rags. Keep her bruised as an apple.
Does she even have a chemise? Or soap? Or cloth for when she gets her blood? There were those
They were like,
mushrooms you're feeding.
what are these things?
But the truth is, you're choosing to be ignorant arseholes, aren't you?
She said what she said. But in fairness, they really are ignorant, though. But, I mean, I agree, though. They've been around for a few centuries now. They should know the very basics of a woman. But I get it. If you've never raised a girl, it is a whole new world.
They felt bad you didn't finish your breakfast.
Did they? They're good guys. They're just dumb. Look at all the science. Witchers be smart and stuff, not just brawny. We love a man with brains and brawn. Geralt's like, you want to share with the class?
I saw a monolith topple.
How?
Daughter of chaos belongs to us. Turn your back. Join the procession. There is only death.
Serena,
Oh, damn. That was a hell of a vision.
you are brave.
Thank you.
But let us help.
You can't do this alone.
She screamed.
And the earth kind of split.
And that's when the monolith cracked and fell. I toppled it.
Sorry, I'm super powerful. Hi.
I'll fix it.
Oh, bless you. You have no idea what you're dealing with. But we love the intent. You did good, Ciri. You can't carry this on your own. You're a child.
Hugging. We are hugging.
Yep, it's happening. Accept it.
That song could be about anyone.
It's okay.
Anyone.
He was
Anyone.
your bestest BFF and he hurt your feelings. You're justified.
Fine, yes. When I wrote it, it did come from the heart.
But the sandpiper.
What? No? Yes? Was your part elf, Yennefer?
No.
I would not wish that fate on my worst enemy, and yes, you are firmly lodged in that category. I come for the elves, Yennefer. I'll come for the dwarves. And sooner or later they will come for everyone.
Very true.
Anyone that they deem the other.
Speak on it. This is why y'all think if you don't stand up for somebody, it's going to come around to you one day or someone you love.
You both smell truly awful.
Right?
I mean, it is like something has crawled up your asses and died.
He's like, and you hugged me. Really? Like, for real. Even if they don't see you, they might smell you. This is not the way to hide.
I have a friend who studies monoliths. I can portal you to him.
Thank you. This is handy.
Portals are no fun.
Oh, come on. Ain't no one got time for long distance travel. Are you gonna throw up? You gonna throw up? Hold it in, Geralt. Breathe. Hold it in.
Who the fuck are you?
The man that Yennefer loves now. You jerk. It's very interesting that they cross paths. I wonder if they're going to start talking about her. How awkward would that be? And the fact that they were with Yennefer at two very different times of her life.
If you don't mind me saying so, that one, it's not your strongest.
Don't engage.
It took me to the fourth verse to understand those different timelines.
Oh, did it? Wow.
And that magic kiss, that was a bit cheap.
Not them poking holes in the first season. This is so meta.
Bit when the lute player ends up with the warrior ladies.
Lovable lutenist.
Yeah. Didn't really ring true for me, I must say.
Don't crush his fantasy. Those girls liked him a little.
You are a dockside scapegrace, a quarreling.
Why would you do this? Why would you do this? But you know what? I understand. Artists get very sensitive about their shit, okay?
Fuck the North.
Oh no! Oh no! This hurts, even though he's a coward.
No, don't.
Look at his face.
Fuck the elves.
He knows he's gonna die. Just go! Hurry up! Make this worth it! God! Ugh! And that's all your fault. Because all you need to do is keep your damn mouth shut. You gotta yell that shit from the boat as it was sailing away. I'm sorry, but you know what? I don't even know what to say. I'd say it makes up for it, but honestly, cruelty's just never fun. Even for cowards. Flowers growing where the blood fell. Whose blood is that?
It only grows where elder blood has been spilt.
Elder?
Everywhere that girl got her ass kicked.
Elder blood was wiped from the continent generations ago.
Was it?
Destiny has given us a gift.
Well,
The key to making more witches.
not in Ciri. That's not gonna happen. You're not gonna milk this girl for her blood. Are you crazy? But that's very interesting.
You know, once upon a time, I would have used this opportunity to call you an empty, lonely, power-hungry she-demon, but...
Well, you've thought that through.
when we can no longer do the one thing we were put on this continent to do.
You discover what else you can do. There you go. Good girl.
Chaos could never be done with the likes of you. Yennefer of Vengerberg.
Let's hope so. Don't say that name so loud. She's wanted. But I agree. I don't think Chaos is done with her either. She literally is the epitome of chaos. But I like the fact that she's trying not to wallow. What the hell?
We have to save ourselves.
Yeah, there's not much you can do for him at this point, especially without your magic. And also because, you know, you're wanted even if you did have your magic. That's it? You can't end there. What happened? Who took him? Why? Oh, wait, I guess the bald weirdo actually knew who he was. He must have known something because he got the spy on the boat. Wow. Okay, I was not expecting it to end there. That hour went by so quick. Oh, man. So that episode was Redanian intelligence, and really we had very little on the, what is it called? The name of the country? Rendahan? Something like that. But we really only saw it for a short while in the beginning of the episode to see that apparently they're going to make a play for Sintra. I'm not exactly sure of how the politics work with them. I might have to go back and look because I know that a lot of the political stuff from last season, honestly, is some of the stuff that I forget about initially because I'll be real. When it comes to shows like this, the politics of the world are usually like the least interesting thing to me. I'm just not interested in politics very much at all. But anyhow, this weirdo, this bald, drunken, but actually kind of genius weirdo, he seems to be doing a very good job of figuring out what's going on with Sintra. He wants to know what's happening with the elves, with Nilfgaard. I'm assuming he's working with the Northern Kingdoms to some degree or somewhere in the middle, but he was smart. He was like, I got to figure out what's going on with them and I got to figure out what's going on with this white flame, which is what the North should be doing, actually. But he's like, I'm not going to get it by asking any of their followers. He figured out very quickly that the followers are quite devout and that they don't really talk much. And so he's like, I need to get somebody in there that they might trust with this information. And he's not the right person. So as we saw, he found a spy, an elven spy, and that is, of course, our young man from last season who was with Ciri for a couple of episodes, and they forged a bit of a interesting relationship. I wouldn't call it a friendship because he definitely felt a little differently about Ciri when he found out who she was, even though it had nothing directly to do with her. But I think that, the fact that they brought him back, which I love, I don't think, well, I'm hoping he doesn't turn into a complete op where Ciri's concerned, because there was some connection between the two of them. I think they both did connect on the fact that they were orphans and on the run and basically had lost everything in one way or another. But we really don't know what's happened to him in the time since they separated. And obviously, if he's been captured and rounded up by these jerks, then he's probably been through, again, even more trauma than what he went through already. So I don't know. I don't know how trusting he's going to be of humans or of anybody of royal blood right now. But if he gets in the company of Fringilla and eventually Yennefer, well, we'll see that they're already on the same boat. Maybe there might be some hope there, because we know that Yennefer obviously doesn't agree with the elven treatment, but I think it was great for her to see a little bit more of how elves are actually being treated. But anyways, I'll come to her in a second. But yeah, that's kind of all we got with the whole Redanian thing, but I think that, he now has at least a vital role as far as this storyline so far to play once he gets to Sintra, which it feels like a lot of the series is kind of doing a little of the all roads lead to Sintra situation, which is interesting to me. But hey, it's where the show kind of started last season too, so it's still very vital to the story that we're telling, and we're going to find out a little bit more of what's going on, I guess, from the Nilfgaardian side. And I like it's not going to just come from Fringilla and that lead elf mage's point of view. We're going to get a little bit now from an outsider point of view through this new character. So yeah, on to Yennefer. Basically, we saw that Yennefer and the Nilfgaardian war criminal are on the run still, and that they've made it to a town. But of course, thanks to magic, magical Twitter, as I called it, people know that they're wanted. And thankfully, because this isn't an age where you have exact photos, it's not going to be as easy to find them. But I said right off the bat that both of them are dressed in very nice clothing and look a little bit regal, and Yennefer definitely has a distinct air about her that would probably give away her status, if nothing else. But as I said, they got to be careful. People are going to be on the lookout for anybody, especially a man and a woman traveling together who are not locals. And we see that led them to this whole underground path and figuring out this kind of underground railroad, quite literally, for elves to get to Sintra. And there was that, really sad moment between the two elves where one of them was quite desperate to save himself at all costs, while the other was trying to be more open and helpful to anybody who needed help. And their story was quite tragic, but kind of there's a lot of parallels they're drawing between elves and what they're going through. And one could even say to how Black slaves were treated in the United States back in the day. And I think that's where they're drawing a lot of the inspiration for how these elves are being treated at the moment. But that happened a lot too in slavery, right? Where some slaves felt like they needed to look out for themselves at all costs, while others were willing to risk a lot, including their own safety and freedom to help others. I think it's really hard to judge. In one hand, I know I was really hard in the episode because I do think it's really sad not to do anything to help, but I also don't know what it's like to be in a situation that's do or die for myself. And many of us like to think we would be very altruistic, but it's really hard to know what you would do, and it's not an easy decision to make either way. So anyway, I think that their little story was very much to illustrate how desperate things are for the elves, but I think it was also really good in that conversation that Yennefer eventually has with the bard who came back into the story. We loved him last season. He added such a nice sprinkle of comedic relief amongst all the dark and gore that happened last season. But anyhow, when she asks him, why he's doing this, why is he helping these elves escape? What's in it for him? And I get the question. It is somewhat coming because she knows last season when she interacted with him, all her interactions with him were very much about him being transactional, right? Everything he was doing was about getting paid. So I get Yennefer thinking that maybe he was all about that. And obviously we know there's a little bit of bad blood between them because of their interactions. But anyway, what I really liked about it was when he said that he brought up the example of how he had been at that place where all the artists were gathering, people who were just artistic were gathering, and it didn't matter where you came from, what race you were, etc. And how these basically bigots, they just started rounding up anybody who wasn't human. And the way that, the bard witnessed how horrible and just without any kind of compassion they were treated. And like he said, he's like, yeah, maybe right now it's not me, but how long is it going to be? Like, it starts with them, and when we all stand back while they do these atrocities to them, how long is it going to be before they start rounding up and treating anybody who they deem as unworthy or different in that fashion? And that was it was an allegorical statement. I mean, obviously this is a fantasy world, but it very much is a real world application in the idea of when you stand back and allow injustices to be happen to somebody who's different than you. Not enough people realize that, if you stand back and watch someone who gets an injustice done to them because of their race, because of their abilities, because of their gender, because of their sexuality, because of their eye color, hair color, because of their religion, etc., the idea of, oh, it's not me, it's not my problem, it's like, maybe not now, but if you step back for that now, how long will it be before the people who have the mindset of doing cruelty to these types of people are going to decide that something about you is not okay, or something about someone you love is not okay? And that's why they say, that expression, none of us are free until we're all free. That's basically where that comes from, is that the compassion is not about necessarily being about a cause. It's about knowing what's right and wrong. And so I love that he kind of basically said that the reason I'm helping is because I know it's the right thing to do, quite frankly. I don't think he's really, down for one cause or up for another. He's not pro-elf or pro-human. He's just pro-compassion, right? Pro letting people just exist. And when you do that, then you just can't stand by and allow bad things to happen. So anyways, I thought that was a really nice message that they kind of threw in there. And again, I like when they do that in shows like this because, in the fantasy context, it's a little less visceral and hopefully a little less political feeling, especially for people in countries where that sort of thing has been very prevalent and very politicized. But anyhow, outside of that, of course, we had that really memorable moment there on the boat where the bard does ask her, why are you here? How did this even happen? Because you're someone who should be powerful enough to get yourself out of this problem. And she basically says, look, I'm done. And of course, we saw too that the Nilfgaardian dude figured that out too. But the bard was like, actually, no. He's like, I think that, you and I are the same in that, your magic to you is what my music is to me. It's what we feel like is our purpose on this planet. And I think in the last episode, my issue with last episode is that Yennefer was equating her entire self-worth with her magic, which is not right. Right? The same way if you're an artist or a musician or something, your entire self-worth is not based on whether or not you can create that thing. It is what might drive you. It might be the thing you're passionate about and the thing that makes you happiest, but it's not the equivalent of who you are and what your worth is. And that's the kind of distinguishing mark I wanted Yennefer to make. But I agreed with what the bard said in the sense of Yennefer really is magic is her thing. She's damn good at it. And it's something that really made her feel purposeful and happy. And so that is why she's so frustrated and mourning so much about this, because it really is something that she kind of somewhat took for granted to some degree, but she now realizes really is such a huge part of who she is and what she wants to do and be. So, but anyways, now they're off to Nilfgaard ideally, but again, something seemed to have happened to the bard and I'm interested to see who snatched him, but I think it might have been Baldy. We'll have to see. But outside of that, we had, of course, back to Ciri and Geralt. Geralt called in help. The last mage he had interaction with, I can't remember her name already, but anyhow, he brought her in because, of course, he thinks Yennefer is dead. And now that he has confirmation that Ciri has some type of magical ability, he knows that's something he cannot help her with. And I love that he was smart enough to get her someone to help with that, because I said, she needs that kind of help. But it's interesting. I knew they were going to do it when she was there. I was like, okay, she knows Yennefer is alive. Is she going to tell Geralt? And of course, they creatively made the situation that she obviously doesn't know that Geralt doesn't know, and Geralt doesn't know that she knows. So it's like an unspoken thing. And he's not, the fact that he didn't let her finish naming all the dead, was the classic, okay, we're going to have Geralt continue to believe that she's gone. But I mean, soon enough, they'll figure it out. And of course, it's going to take away from the monumental reunion when they eventually interface somehow. But Geralt's on his way to Sintra, and of course, so is Yennefer. So they are going to somehow cross paths. And of course, it's going to be magical and amazing and probably also very violent and rude in some respects. But hey, that's what this show is all about. What I took away from that scene that I liked the most was Ciri finally opening up and fully trusting Geralt with this, because she has been carrying a big burden with this fear she has around her powers. and not understanding if they're good or bad. She just needs to take her time and at her pacing, feel confident enough to let that out. But I think having another magic wielder there is going to make her feel more comfortable, because Geralt really can't fully relate. Like, obviously we know Geralt can do some magic, but it's nowhere near the way that she does it, or even in the same way from the way I'm looking at it that she would potentially do her magic. So, but we just discovered in this episode that she's got elder blood in her, which apparently is super powerful, and they thought no longer existed, but now we know that it does, and it is indeed Ciri's blood. I couldn't tell whose blood it was, so they're saying that her blood is what was used as part of the elixir that made witchers back in the day. So we see Vesemir getting a light bulb around, wow, we might actually be able to create these, create witchers again. But obviously there's no way Geralt's going to allow that, because if her blood is what's necessary. I mean, I know my girl's probably going to get knocked around a bit more while she trains, but you know what I'm saying? Like, how else are you going to get this short of actually bleeding her? I don't know. I was a little bit upset that that Vesemir had that epiphany and the greed that kind of sparkled in his eyes when that happened. But I also understand that he's scared. He is kind of like, again, he is the oldest of what's now a dying breed. And I can understand his fears around extinction. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. Like I said in the last episode, we might still need witchers, but is this the only way? And is it the safest way? And again, is she the only person who can do this? And yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of questions around it. It's not going to be as cut and dried as what we think, but it makes me think that if Vesemir doesn't get an answer that he likes from Ciri or from Geralt, that he might try something foolish to try to get what he wants from her regardless. But we'll have to see. The plot is thickening, and it seems to be, of course, revolving somewhat around Ciri, but I'm very excited to find out more about it as we start peeling back those layers as the season continues. So this was another good episode as far as I'm concerned. I love it. Like I said, the hour went by a lot faster than I expected, and I'm just ready to see where we're going to go. I have so many questions about where all these things are pointing to where Cintra is concerned. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, and we will see you in the next video.